So once this clip is done, then you can go ahead and talk to the children themselves. They'll tell you that they'll be all fine all by themselves and everything, and that you should go on and help the Gorons. They say that they wish that somebody could go up there, and if they could get into the Goron mines, then you can find out what's really wrong and what's happening. Luda will say that going near the mines would be very dangerous, and she doesn't want to be separated from the other children and everything, because now she's in the village all by herself, the only young person here. But it's kind of what needs to happen, so she encourages you to go ahead and take the kids away. Renato will once again say that you know, the understanding of what happens with the happened with the Gorons will you know, be known soon enough, but you should go ahead and take the children back home. We should ignore Renato for now, because our only real next course of action is that we have to go to the Goron mines. So you want to go ahead and work your way towards Death Mountain. If you remember from the previous video, we actually went up Death Mountain by taking this little path over here. We actually jumped down before, but this time we're going to head straight to it. On your map you'll see it's the northmost exit here. So you want to take this one, this will lead us to Death Mountain. Before we had to use midna jumps to get up top, but now we are going to have to climb the wall. Unfortunately there is a ladder there that is broken, but I don't really know why the ladder is even necessary, because you can climb the wall itself. And this grating, I suppose, is to keep all the rocks from getting out of here. It just kind of gives it some more structural integrity to the whole wall thing, I guess. In any case, once you climb up top, you'll see that there is a Goron up here, and he is the same one we saw earlier. Now he's actually much farther back, and he will scream out how this is the proud area of the Gorons, and you know, the elder said not to let any humans past. And you can try and maneuver around, but you can't. Link does this little pose thing where he's going to try and grab the Goron, and it's actually the same thing he does when the goats escape the Ordon ranch. You can actually, a little after you have herded the goats with Fado before, then you could go talk to Marabou, and then the goats would actually get out of the ranch, and Marabou is complaining about how incompetent Fado is at keeping the goats at the ranch and everything. And so you have to, like, actually, you'll do that, Link will do that little pose, and you have to grab the goats by the horns and, like, toss them off to the side. So then Marabou will congratulate you if you can manage to do it successfully. That's just training for all this stuff. I actually did not do that in this walkthrough thus far. That's exactly what Link is doing with the Gorons up there. And right now you are too light to actually do anything to the Gorons right now. And so if you run back to the village, then Renato will meet you there. He'll say that he was concerned because he saw you heading towards Death Mountain, and he will say that, you know, if you want to help the Gorons, whatever, you're going to have to match their strength. And there's only one person that has ever done that before who actually managed to stand up to them and impress them and everything, and that was actually Marabou. So how convenient. We can actually go back and we can actually... we need to go to Ordon Village anyways to go tell them what happened with the children, but we can go see Marabou then, and we can find out the secret of how to get up Death Mountain and, you know, match the strength of the Gorons. So as you are heading back towards the exit of Kakariko Village, you'll see that Epona actually comes riding into town. And there's actually two Boblins that are trying to ride on her, and she just totally tosses them off. I guess they're kind of pathetic and they can't hold on. She is really spooked, I guess, right now, and so Link, she like practically rides over him or something, and then Link jumps onto the saddle to try and calm her down. So at this point, it's just a fight for dear life to try and stay in the saddle, and you'll see at the bottom of the screen, it tells you what to do. So you want to move the analog stick in the direction that it tells you to, and if you do it in the opposite direction, then Link will fall off the saddle and have to try again. Once you are on for a decent amount of time, then you can press A to seize hold, and there I actually got it on my first try. If you manage to fall off, though, you can actually, you'll get hurt a little bit and such, and you can just walk around in the Eldin spring there, and you can get your health back because it slowly restores your life. Once you finally manage to stay on Epona long enough, Link will grab hold of the reins and he will calm her down. Minda will once again say that she'll say, "Oh, I guess you're a wrangler after all," kind of making fun of you, I guess. But then she'll encourage you to go on and work your way back towards Ordon Village, saying this will make everything much faster. And she is certainly true with that. Epona riding her around is a lot faster, and now we can actually use all the horse grass that we've been seeing around in Hyrule Field, and there's also some horse grass right there in Kakariko Village as well. Once you start making your way back through this Kakariko Gorge, then you'll see that the postman comes and he has a letter for you, and this one is from Oocoo. And it kind of depends on whether you've met this character yet or not, but also whether you have actually used that dungeon item or not. But Oocoo is like is that little chicken thing that we met in the dungeons, in case you haven't seen that yet. But she allows you to teleport out of the dungeon and go get supplies and such, in case you are, like, say, missing lantern oil or something like that. You can teleport out of the dungeon, get lantern oil, and go back in. This letter is from Oocoo. She's just saying thank you for traveling with her and helping her search for what she's looking for in the dungeons. So anyways, totally optional letter. You might not even get that letter yet. You want to head over to the right side, so the south side of Kakariko Gorge. You'll see there's all these trees over here, these 3 trees, and kind of in the center of them, kind of towards the back, there's a golden bug out here next to the grass. You can slash the grass to make it easier to see, but you'll see that this is the female pill bug. So this is one of 2 bugs found in this area. Now that we're in human form, we can actually get all these bugs that are in this area. And now just a little trick here, you can actually get on Epona from behind. You can mount her that way, and this will cause her to leap forward really quickly. So this is a good way to actually get a head start when you're trying to be really quickly, trying to quickly go in a direction. You can face her in the right direction before you ever get off her, and then when you jump back on, you can launch yourself in the right direction. The second pill bug that is found in this area is just on the opposite side of the bridge, just right there. This is the male pill bug, and so now we have both of the golden bugs found in this area. So that should give you 4 golden bugs thus far. So with that, now you want to head over to the left. There's actually one more cool thing we can get in this area. You'll see that there's that little platform that's kind of, or this pillar, it's kind of off in the middle of nowhere. So you want to, I'm going to go ahead and get off Epona here. And she will also scream whenever there's enemies that are nearby. There's also a cargo rock that is nearby, and it might attack you if you are too close to it. You want to use your Gale Boomerang to latch onto the shiny thing that is on top of this giant pillar off in the middle of the abyss. This will give you your 5th heart piece. So if you've been following the walkthrough thus far, you should have 5 of them, and thus this should give you your 5th heart container. So now we have a whole bunch of life. It's pretty cool. So with that, you want to continue working your way back towards Ordon Village. So just ride through this area, and we're going to go right through South Hyrule Field and go through the south exit to get back to Ordon. And if you remember, when we were on Death Mountain, we actually we saw a little statue thing called a Howling Stone, and so as a wolf, we walked up to it and we like howled a song to it, and then we appeared in this misty area with the golden wolf, and we howled the song together, and then that made him appear in another location throughout Hyrule. So we're going to be finding several of these Howling Stones throughout the game, and they're going to allow us to get the hidden skills that allow us to do a bunch of cool sword techniques. So if you did not see that Howling Stone when you were on Death Mountain, then you will not be able to get it for now. Later on in the game, you'll be able to transform into a wolf whenever you want, wherever you want. So you will be able to find those Howling Stones again and get those hidden skills. So if you did not get it, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to wait for a while before you'll be able to get this hidden skill. Anyways, most of you probably saw it, and if you've been following this walkthrough in particular, then you will have already played the song for that Howling Stone, so now this hidden skill is now available to you. The Golden Wolf is now located over here in Ordon Spring. You can actually find him on your map. It's you go to your map screen, and on the Wii, it will be, you press the 1 button on the bottom part of your controller, and it will open up your map subscreen. You'll see the Golden Wolf head here in Ordon Spring. So once you walk over to him in your human form, he will launch at you and like bite Link's head or whatever. Then you will appear back in this misty world with Hyrule Castle in the background, and he will transform into the Hero's Shade, and he will then, in order for him to teach you the new skill, he wants to make sure you've mastered the previous skill that he taught you. In this case, that is the ending blow. So first you want to smack him a whole bunch, and then press A to perform the ending blow on him and knock him to the ground. Once you have dished out enough pain, then the Hero Shade will then approve of your skill thus far, and he will then teach you the second of the hidden skills, the shield attack. So there are 7 skills to be found throughout the game, and so this is the second one out of 7. And this one, I love this one, it's so cool. This is the shield attack, and how it works is you just punch forward with a nunchuck in your left hand, and it will, or right if you're left-handed or whatnot, but then you just punch forward with the nunchuck, and Link will thrust his shield forward and smack his enemy. So it works at melee range, and it's basically useful against melee enemies, such as enemies that have a sword and shield, for example. If they don't just have like Bokoblins and stuff like that, they just have the little club or whatever. But enemies that you're going to be fighting here in just a little bit, they actually have a shield and such as well, so it's a little bit harder to get past their defenses. So you use the shield attack, it'll stun them for a moment, giving you a good chance where you can get past their defenses and smack them with your sword. The shield attack can also be used to reflect attacks, so if you see a projectile attack coming towards you, you can use the shield attack to punch the a projectile back at them. It's actually really fun, and it's actually very vindicating feeling to reflect their attacks back at them. There's actually only a few enemies in the game that you can do this with, but it's pretty cool. So that is the second hidden skill. I find it really useful, and I hope you guys do as well. And that is actually the end of this chapter. So join me for the next chapter, and we will go ahead and talk to Marbeau, and then we will go climb Death Mountain, and finally enter the next dungeon of the game. So thank you, and I hope to see you guys next time.